Meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, honorable city council members, mayor, to our chief of staff, to the administrative staff, and to our deputy clerk, as well as those of you that are in the audience, and to those that are viewing tonight's meeting via our broadcast channel and YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting, and today's date is Monday, June 24th, 2024. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card, which is located on the table in the back of the room, and then hand it to the deputy clerk. And at this time, Mr. Chair, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barden.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
And Councilman Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you.
Tonight's regular council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 mayor's report, 6 clerk's report, 7 treasurer's report, 8 public comment, 9 unfinished business, 10 new business, 11 warrant, 12 communication, and number 13 is adjournment. And a motion will be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support. It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Yes. Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
Thank you, council. Number 2 minutes. Agenda item 2A for approval are the minutes from the regular council meeting held on Monday, June 10th, 2024. Motion will be in order to accept and approve those minutes.
Need a motion?
Hold on. So moved to, okay. So moved. Second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from our regular meeting held on Monday, June 10th at 7:30. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Abstain.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. Agenda item 2B for approval are the minutes from the special meeting public hearing that was held on Monday, June 10th, 2024 at 6:45 p.m. And this was to provide public input on the proposed vacation of Harriet Avenue and Harrison Avenue and the associated east, west, and north-south alleys located between said streets. And for the record, no quorum was present for the special meeting study session that was scheduled for Monday, June 10th, 2024 at 6 o'clock p.m. Request to approve the minutes as stated.
Through the chair, is it okay if we can, even though we didn't have a quorum, we can still make that motion?
Right, this is just part of this is just for the record
Okay.
that meeting didn't take place, but we
Got
do
it.
have the minutes from the public hearing.
Got it. Through the chair?
Yes, Ms.
I'd
Talley.
like to make that motion, approval of the minutes from the special meeting public hearing held on Monday, June 10th, 2024 at 6:45 p.m. to provide public input on the proposed vacation of Harriet Avenue and Harrison Avenue and the associated east, west, north, south alleys located between said streets. Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from our special meeting public hearing held on Monday, June 10th, 24 at 6:45 p.m. to provide public input on the proposed vacation of Harris Avenue and Harrison Avenue and the associated east, west, and north-south alleys located between said street. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Abstain.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. Number 3 is petitioner. We have a petitioner on the agenda this evening. We have Mr. and Mrs. Madison that is here this evening. They are the petitioners, and their petition is, they're requesting approval of a block party and road closure for Thursday, July 4th, 2024. And this is to approve the block party petition on the said date from 3 o'clock p.m. to 10:30 p.m. and the closing of Hearst Avenue at Dexter Street to the property line of 6225 Chamberlain, and the closing of Horace Jackson Street at Martin Place to the property line of 6318 Horace Jackson Street, with access granted for emergency vehicles for the stated event. And we have our petitioners this evening.
Okay.
Good evening, elected officials. We are here yet once again this year for our annual 4th of July block party with a request to close parts of the road on Horace Jackson and Hearst for pedestrian safety during the event.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms. Talley.
How long y'all been doing this now? It's been a long time. 10 years. 10 years? Nice. And then, of course, are we invited?
Of course.
I got to put it on the record.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I can say one thing, they really do a really nice, professional job. Everyone enjoyed themselves when they, at you guys' functions. Y'all are first class. And thanks for inviting the council.
Yes.
and the neighborhood.
It's all free, it's just enjoyable just to see the kids having fun. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That way they can grow up and they can see what we do, that they can
Right.
do it when we don't, right?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's how you keep family together, right?
That's right.
Yes, that's it. That's right, Jeff.
That's right.
They stay together like that.
Yeah.
And the food is delicious too.
Right. Yeah, you gotta feel that before.
I know, yeah.
Mr. Chair, I forgot to mention that. I know I announced Mr. and Mrs. Madison, but I was negligent in announcing Mr. Warren was also part of the coordinator team as well. So I
Right.
got you, Mr. Warren.
All right, Mr. Warren.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Williams.
And I would just like to say, as always, thank you so much for giving back to the community and digging back to the old way of bringing people together with just some good old fun. Thank you. I know it's very costly, a lot of put into it, a lot of hard work, but thank you for all your hard work.
Well, we learn from the best, right?
Yep. If I could just reiterate through the chair,
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
I attended 2 of them, and absolutely fantastic. Definitely appreciate it. I think I even got a Juneteenth shirt last time I was there, even before Juneteenth became a holiday. So I appreciate that. But I want to say you do such a great job. I know you spend quite a bit of money putting this on. If you got a tip jar around there somewhere, might be a good idea. A tip now. No,
Right.
A tip jar, all right. All right.
Mr. Wadsworth?
If everybody's done, I'm going to move that we approve the block party for the 4th of July from 3 o'clock until 10:30 at night.
The motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Williams, for approval of the block party petition July 4th, 2024. Roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Of course, yes.
And also, Chairman votes yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Takes us to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At 6:30, we had a study session and to discuss the 2024 honorary street sign applications. With that, Chairperson has no report tonight.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you, council. Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Thank you. Good evening, City Council, Madam Clerk, those in the audience here today, and those in the audience at home tuning in tonight. Before we get at my report, I'd like to direct your attention to the monitors, where we have an announcement from the talented Ms. Vanessa Tolliver from the Mayor's Office.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Tolliver, and here are some events happening in Romulus. Movies in our district returns this Friday, June 28th, with the showing of Super Mario Brothers movie beginning at dusk. Costumes are encouraged. Applications for Romulus Hometown Superhero Award nominations are open. Visit our website to find applications and to learn more about each category. The next Sounds in Our District Summer Music Series will take place on Friday, July 12th, featuring 50 amp views. The music will begin at 7 p.m. Bring the whole family on Saturday, July 13th to the Historical Park from 10 a.m. to 1 for Patriots in our park. There will be games, activities, and a bounce house for the kids. And the Rotary will be grilling food. As we wait, the Wounded American Charity motorcycle ride to pass through Romulus. This annual fundraiser raises thousands of dollars to help local veterans. Romulus has been challenged by participating in neighboring communities for the title for the most patriotic community. This is a free event, so bring your family, friends, and invite your neighbors. Let's show our neighboring community our Romulus patriotic pride. Thanks everyone, and remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website for more information, and you make sure to have yourself a great night.
Thank you, Vanessa. I'd like to bring up Deputy Chief Ken Chapman to the podium for a quick announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I'd like to take a brief opportunity here to recognize the hardworking men and women of the city of Romulus. There's no question that the employees of the city of Romulus provide superior services across the board. So I'd like to take this opportunity to highlight an instance. On February 17th, 2024 at 1:58 a.m., the Romulus Fire Department responded to a report of an unconscious patient. Rescue 2 responded to the scene and found an unresponsive patient with labored respirations. The crew immediately called for additional FD resources, but they were coming from across town. It would be several minutes before they could arrive. Without hesitation, oops. Can you hear me? Yep. There we go. Without hesitation, the Romulus police officers on scene stepped up to assist. The patient was found initially in a bathtub. Due to the tight space and only 2 firefighters on scene, they assisted our crew in moving the patient from the bathtub to the living room. Once in the living room, the fire crew provided ALS, advanced life support, medical interventions. The situation called for numerous actions, including cardiac monitoring, intravenous therapy, EMS medication administration, oxygen therapy, including bag valve mask respirations, and vital sign assessment. While our crews performed life-saving interventions, police personnel continued to assist in many ways, providing flashlights so the crews could see, grabbing additional equipment and supplies from the ambulance outside. They helped the crews transport the patient down 3 flights of steps on a stretcher in an apartment building, gathered patient information from the family on scene, and assisted later arriving crews with scene cleanup, all the mess that we leave after a large incident like this. In the end, the patient had a positive outcome. They were alert and oriented by the time of arrival at the hospital, but this could have been a different story without the cooperation between public safety personnel. Professionalism, willingness to step up out of their comfort zone shows the dedication of our employees displayed on a daily basis. I'm going to read off a few names and I'll call them up here. I'd like to present the certificates in just a second to Police Officer Christopher Cazaria, He's been serving our community for 7 years. Police Officer Timothy Shank, serving our community for 4 years. Police Officer Callum Gibbs, serving our community for 2 years. Police Officer Solomon Green, serving our community for 2 years. Police Officer River Gershaber, serving our community for 15 months. And Police Officer Marcus Matheson, serving our community for only 4 months. Reason I put the time in there is because it's across the board. It doesn't matter whether it's senior personnel or it's new personnel. They all stepped up. If it wouldn't have been for them, we wouldn't have had such a positive outcome. Can I get the police officers that were on scene? We created a certificate of appreciation, and all of my staff signed on the outside to present to each of the individuals. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you to Deputy Chief Chapman, and thank you to all our first responders who work so hard for residents of this community. We all know that if we don't have a safe community, we don't have a community at all. And council's always been very supportive of police, fire, and safety in doing the work. And we know that there's a little bit of competition between the blue and the red all the time, right? But we know that all goes away when life safety's on the end. So great job working together. I'm proud of all of you, and you're an asset to our community. So thank you very much. Last week, we appointed a new BZA member, DeAndre Green, a resident of the community, who applied, but he couldn't make it to the meeting last time, so we brought him here today with his family to come up and introduce himself and let council know who he is and put a face on it. So DeAndre, will you come up, please? You can bring that beautiful family up, too, if you want to.
All right. She's taking a picture.
She's proud of her dad.
All right.
First off, good evening to everyone. I would like to say thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, for giving me this opportunity to serve the community. It's my daughter, Dakota, my son, Dior, my lovely wife, Rakia. I'm truly heart-touched. I really appreciate you all giving me this opportunity. And like I said, I'm very thankful for it. I'm looking forward to, hitting the ground running.
Thank you. We're looking forward to what you bring to the BZA, and thank you for choosing Romulus and coming here and get involved. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any questions from any council members you have for
Chair.
Mr. Green?
Yes, Ms.
I mean,
Talley?
talk about dress to impress. I mean, I love it. I love the suit thing going on.
Being in the construction field for almost 20 years, I look for any reason to put on a suit and tie. So.
All right, y'all look great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, John,
Yes, Mr.
so by you saying that, so you come from the construction field?
Yes, ma'am.
So I know you'll be a great access to
Yes.
the zoning boards of appeals. So-
Straight out of high school, and from there, I took off.
And what I love about it is that, I don't want to know your age, but you look young, and you're our future. And I love that, getting involved now, because sooner or later, none of us up here are spring chickens, and so you guys will be taking over. And so I love that you're getting involved, and hopefully you can draw other folks your age to get involved.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair,
Yes, Mr. Wilson?
let me just say quickly that very impressed. Your dress, as Tina indicated, your family, a family man, that is very, very impressive stuff, young man. And I want to say to you that I'm very confident that you're going to do a very good job. Obviously, if you were selected by Mayor McCray, I know there were other individuals who also probably came before his office, and you came out on top. So that says a lot about you, says a lot about your future, says a lot about the things that you're going to be able to do for the city. So for that, I congratulate you, I congratulate your family, and I know you're going to do well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, congratulations, and Mayor, congratulations on a great pick.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last item I want to hit on before I get into the action items for you, is just acknowledging our city clerk and what a great job she did with our Juneteenth event on Saturday. Another great event. I know you have a committee that Councilman Taylor, I know you sit on, and there are others out there, but great job on the event. And again, making another shining star for Romulus and putting this out there. So thank you very much. You did a great job.
Yes.
Okay, first action item I have is a resolution regarding ground emergency medical transportation. I concur with the recommendation of Ken Chapman, Deputy Fire Chief, and the Conference of Western Wayne, and respectfully request City Council adopt a resolution in support of House Bill 5695 to direct Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to enroll in the GEMT program through the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services State Plan amendment and process, and urge the Michigan State Legislature to include funding to administer GEMT, Ground Emergency Medical Transportation Program, in the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Appropriations Bill, House Bill 5556 and Senate Bill 767. If you have any questions on it, I have Deputy Chief still here.
Through the chair,
Yes, Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and adopt a resolution in support of House Bill 5695 to direct the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to enroll in the GEMT program through the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services State Plan Amendment and Process, and urge the Michigan State Legislature to include funding to administer the GEMT, the Ground Emergency Medical Transportation Program, in the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Appropriations Bill, House Bill 5556 and Senate Bill 767.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for a resolution regarding the Ground Emergency Medical Transportation Program in Michigan. Any discussion?
Yes.
Discussion?
Yes, I would just like to say, thank you to the fire chief. He reached out to me and explained that this resolution will go to the state of Michigan, letting them know that we're on board, that the state of Michigan will be responsible or will provide more of the funding when it comes to transporting patients in the ambulance. And so I thank the mayor and his staff for even going after that, because so many residents doesn't have insurance that actually cover the transportation of an ambulance service, and that falls back on the city. So thank you for reaching out to the state. They owe us a lot, and so every chance you can get to the state and the federal government to get us some money, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other discussion from council? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you. And as stated before in previous meetings, we're going to bring more activation on legislation so we can let our legislators know exactly where the city of Romulus stands. So thank you very much. It's very helpful for us when we're trying to control legislation to get passed. It's going to be favorable for the city of Romulus. The next item I have is piggyback on the Kodiak contract. I concur with the recommendation of Ken Chapman, Deputy Fire Chief, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request Council's authorization to piggyback on HGAC by contract AM10-23 with Kodiak Emergency Vehicles for the purchase of a 2024 Chevy 2168 Super Warrior 3 G4500 ambulance and stretcher unloading system with a total cost not to exceed $375,000.
Through the chair,
Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and consent to piggyback on the HGAC by contract AM10-23 with Kodiak Emergency Vehicles for the purchase of a 2024 Chevy 2168 Superior Warrior 3 G4500 ambulance and a stretcher unloading system with a total cost not to exceed $375,000.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe. Piggyback on Kodiak contract AM10-23 Chevy 2168 Super Warrior 3 G4500 ambulance. Any discussion?
Yes.
Williams?
Again, I talked with the fire chief because I wasn't familiar with this item. He explained to me that every so many years, if I'm not mistaken, it was 3 years, 2 years, that they have to renew these vehicles. These are ambulances that's equipped with a lot of equipment that can save people's lives. So what I did, I didn't just take his word on the mileage, because he told me it was over 100,000 miles on it. I asked Johnny, he specialized in trucks. So Johnny said, yes, it's time to get rid of it, because they make many more trips than he do. And that's a good time, because nobody want to be riding in the ambulance and they break down on the way to the hospital. So I just wanted to share that with you. I did check with Johnny before I made my final decision, and just to let the residents know, this is very important that we keep these updated, that the residents, and even those that may be visiting that have an emergency, can actually get to the hospital safe. Thank you, Chief.
Any other discussion from council? If not, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Thank you again for supporting our first responders in public safety. Next is the sole source agreement. I concur with the recommendation of Steve Dudek, Technology Services Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request City Council authorize sole source agreement with ESRI, Environmental Systems Research Institute, for the annual cost of $13,160, with the additional request to continue the agreement for subsequent fiscal years for the life of the software, or until cost is no longer able to be budgeted for, an increase in the annual cost does not exceed CPI, Consumer Price Index. And Maria Ferris, Finance Director, has verified these funds for this acquisition will be available in fiscal year 24-25.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth?
I'm going to move that we approve the sole source agreement for the ESRI software and maintenance agreement, and the annual cost will be $13,160.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for a sole source agreement, ESRI software and maintenance. Any discussion?
Inquiry, through the chair, please.
Ms. Wilson? Mr.
Yes.
Wilson?
Steve Dudek, please take the podium. Thank you. Mr. Dudek, can you explain to the audience exactly what this Environmental Systems Research Institute software does for the city?
This software is basically there's a lot of data out there, and basically in its basic form, it's basically letters and numbers. What this GIS graphical information software does is it basically takes this data and basically makes it into more graphical representations like a map. So in other words, if you see the pictures of the cemetery plots on the walls in the building and so on and so forth, they'll take that information and basically make it graphical with all those polygons and so on and so forth. Typically, it's used for things like road mapping, like what Roberta we use, obviously being used for the cemeteries for the city clerk. But it's basically software that helps manipulate the data, create the data, and then pull reports from that data.
Okay. And obviously, because it exceeds $12,000, you have to come before the council. So.
That is correct. This is the first year it's exceeded that amount.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion from council? Hearing none, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, a motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have, item D, is to piggyback on a My Deal contract for a Dell PowerEdge R450 server. I concur with the recommendation of Stephen Dudek, Technology Services Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request Council's authorization to piggyback on the My Deal contract 071B6600111 for the purchase of a Dell PowerEdge R450 server for the BSNA software for a total of $13,496.58. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified funds for this purchase are available in the fiscal year 24-25 capital outlay fund.
Through the chair,
Ms. Abdo?
I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and consent to piggyback on the Michigan deal contract number 071-11366001111 for the purchase of the Dell PowerEdge R450 server for the BSNA software for the total of $13,496.58.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley. Piggyback on my deal contract for Dell PowerEdge R450 server. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll
Yeah,
call.
yeah.
Discussion.
So this is just what we just approved. Is this the same item, or is this a different item?
No, this is the server that backs up our BSNA software, which runs our planning, our building, our code enforcement, at BSNA contract. So this is the server that powers that.
It's an additional expenditure.
Okay, I was just looking at it, it was pretty much almost the
price.
same amount. That's why I was
Close.
kind of confused. So this helps to, this is with technology, am I correct? And it helps to update the technology? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up is for the Wayne Road sidewalk. And I concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and Steve Hitchcock, City Attorney, and respectfully request that council authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached contract with MDOT for the construction of the sidewalk on Wayne Road from Smith Road to Van Born with a grant award of $988,000 and a local match to be determined upon final bid. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has confirmed these funds are available in the projects in process account.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'll make that motion to concur with administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached contract with MDOT for the construction of a sidewalk on Wayne Road from Smith Road to Van Born Road with a grant award of $988,000 and a local match to be determined upon final bid.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley. And this is for the Wayne Road sidewalk contract with the State of Michigan. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Mayor, the $988,000, is that, I know that the state, our former rep, Alec Garza, petitioned his colleagues to sign off on that $1 million. How much money do we have totally in this fund for the sidewalks on Wayne Road? Because I know $1 million is just for the design. Is that correct?
No. For further detail, I can bring Roberto Scapitici up to address it with a further cost breakdown.
Good evening, council. So the 988 is the grant portion, but the city has a match of roughly about $600,000 to make towards this project.
Okay, so the total project will be?
1.5.
It's roughly like 1.4 million. If you look at page, I think it is 9, page 9, it has the breakdown. So the engineer's estimate, it has the project at 1.4 million. In the federal amount is the 988. So we have a portion of 427 to pay if the project comes in at that cost. We're hoping it'll come in at that cost or lower, but then on top of that, we have to put all of our survey work, our staking, layout, so on and so forth. That's why I'm giving it that roughly $600,000 is going to be local share for the municipality.
And just for the residents that's in the audience, most of them are from the north end, which that's where these sidewalks are going. Thank God, because way too long from Van Born coming this way to the city, I would say maybe to Wick Road, folks walking on the edge of the road, you can tell they from Romulus because their shoes are dirty and dusty. So I'm so proud of Alec Garza and our city for finally focusing on the north side of our city, Wayne Road, to put sidewalks there because they deserve it. There's so many people that is walking. And to see this coming, it's a joy. And so I thank you for your hard work. I ask you, as I said on the phone to you earlier today, keep staying on the federal government and those state reps and those state senators, get us more money because that end of the town need just as much attention as any other side. So I appreciate your hard work and keep the good work up.
Any other
Through the chair,
discussion?
through the chair.
Any other discussion from
Yes,
council?
through the chair.
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
Roberta, how soon will they be starting on this?
With the approval of the contract tonight, that starts the bidding process. The bidding process is going to happen in July, and I'm hopeful that we will have shovels in the ground September.
Thank you.
Chair?
Yes,
Quick
Mr.
question, Roberto. Do we take 3 bids, right? Do you take?
We don't bid this. The state of, the state of Michigan bids it.
Okay,
And it could be 1 bidder or 12 bidders or 20 bidders, but it's all handled through the state. That's why we're approving this contract, is for us to be kind of piggyback with them to build it.
So the award, Roberto, is $988,000, correct?
That is the award for the grant.
Okay. And a local match, that's us, local match,
Yes,
to be determined upon final bid.
yep,
So obviously, we're looking for the lowest bid, correct?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Lowest qualified bidder.
Lowest, okay, lowest qualified bidder, okay. All right, thank you.
Good job, Roberta.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
service. Ms. Talley?
Yeah, real quick, Roberta, once you get started in September, how long will it take to get that complete? Just a ballpark.
You know, I'm gonna think probably 3.5 months.
Okay.
But depending on what happens with the
Fine.
weather in the fall, if we get a
Yeah.
lot of rainy days, I'm hopeful that we'll get the concrete in and the sidewalk in, and maybe just the restoration will happen in the spring.
Okay.
When it's more conducive weather.
Thank you.
John,
Yes, Mr.
I
Wadsworth.
just want to say that this is long overdue.
Yes.
When I first came here in 1983, they were talking about putting sidewalks on Wayne Road, so a job well done.
John.
Thank you. There was a lot of people
Very nice.
involved in the administration of this.
Yeah. I would just like to say, Roberto, too, even before you send those bids out, I know a lot of sidewalks, I see they're different sizes. Can we make sure that the sidewalks are wide enough for someone to walk, maybe ride a bike, and maybe push a stroller? Because to put a narrow sidewalk where it's only maybe 2 people can walk. So I just want to make sure we're spending this money, we're finally getting something that end of the town deserve. So let's make sure that whoever gets this bid, make sure those sidewalks are the decent width.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Through the chair, please. That was
Yes.
good inquiry. So we do have a standard size sidewalk, or
Yeah,
we?
5 foot.
So you already have that?
5 foot is ADA compliant, yep.
Okay, so so it's already been designed pretty much?
Yeah, yeah.
As far as the width?
Yep, it's 5 foot.
And it's enough to, obviously?
Yeah, two-way traffic,
Okay,
pedestrian traffic.
gotcha. Thank you.
Well, and since Roberto is up here and I spoke to him earlier about Wayne Road and Ecorse, Mayor, and I don't know who received that contract, but as I was saying to you today, it seems like, and maybe because as I said earlier, that the old road was maybe under a different ordinance, and it was wider, but whoever designed it, they made the road, the lanes, each lane is narrow now. It's not as wide as it was. I understand the ordinance change, but that design is just terrible. I know the city didn't have anything to do with the design, but that big slab of concrete, for what? And as I said, the DPW gonna have to really be careful, because in the winter, when it's snowing, how do people know that that is there if snow is covering it? So we're gonna have to get some signs up or something saying curve ahead or curve to the side or something, because a lot of that happens up here at Taco Bell because of the way they have that going in there. And in the wintertime, there's no way for you to know that that's a curve there. So please, maybe talk with those.
We'll make sure it's properly signed. Yep.
Please, I appreciate it.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you. The next item we have is a much-needed piece of equipment for our DPW and it's piggybacking a Sourcewell contract for a Vermeer D10 bore machine, which is used by the DPW to do underground boring to do water taps and tie-ins on water lines. I concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request Council's authorization to piggyback on the Sourcewell contract 110421-VRM for the purchase of a Vermeer D10 bore machine from Vermeer Midwest for a total cost of $195,789.19. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified the funds for the purchase are available in a motor vehicle fund.
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
Yes, I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and consent to piggyback on the Sourcewell contract 110421-VRM for the purchase of a Vermeer D10 bore machine from Vermeer Midwest for a total cost of $195,789.19.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to piggyback on Sourcewell contract for Vermeer D10 bore machine. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. You have a discussion?
Yes. I would just like to say I talked with Roberto earlier pertaining to this item, and it's well needed for the DPW department to do the job they need for new construction and also any type of work they have to do with dealing with the water and the sewer. So thank you for that information, Mr. Roberto.
Any other discussion? Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have is a change order for the MED sidewalk contract. I concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and respectfully request council approve change order number 1 to bid award ITB 23-24-02 for the additional concrete work within the city of Romulus as outlined in change order number 1 for the work that was completed in Oak Brook and Meadow subdivisions in the amount of $72,367.46. Maria Ferris, Finance Director, has verified the funds for this acquisition have been budgeted for and are available.
Through the chair.
Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and approve change order number 1 to bid award ITB 23/24-02 for additional concrete work within the city of Romulus as outlined in change order number 1 for work that was completed in the Oak Brook and Meadow subdivision in the amount of $72,367.46.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo. To request approval of change order number 1, sidewalk contract ITB 23/02. Any discussion?
Yes.
Williams?
I talked to Roberto again, and thank you for the information. This is a grant that was already approved, and it's actually patching the sidewalks in Mirror. I would definitely, and I say this all the time because I go through other cities, even as Inkster is not as rich as Romulus, and they are having the whole road tore out. They're having the whole stretch of sidewalks. So I know this is just a patching job, different areas where the sidewalks are lifting and it's really bad, but we need to make sure whether council make resolutions and get it to the state reps and the state senators. We need to get more money so we can do the same type of job instead of just patching just tear the whole road out, replace it, same way with the sidewalks. So I would love, Roberto, for you to present to council something that we can get it to the state reps, the state senators, and even the governor, even the federal president, because we need money. And we can't go to the taxpayers as quick as we can or get as much as we can from those that's in office that's handling our tax dollars. So as I said to you earlier, I appreciate the patchwork, but we need some money from those different levels of government to do a better job for our residents. Thank you.
Any other discussion from council? Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up is for the Veterans Memorial Reconstruction. It's been a priority for the administration for a couple of years now, and I'm happy to say we finally have a bidder and an award. So I concur with the recommendation of Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request council award bid ITB 23-24-05 to Kemp Builders Incorporated to reconstruct the Veterans Memorial in the amount of $143,000 with a contingency of $15,000 for unforeseen issues and a total cost of $158,000. Construction is expected to begin in mid-July of 2024. Maria Ferris, Finance Director, has verified these funds for this acquisition have been budgeted for and are available in General Fund, Building and Grounds, and also the Court Building Construction Fund.
John?
Mr. Wadsworth.
With a great pleasure, I move that we approve ITB 23-24-5. It's for the Veterans Memorial Reconstruction at a cost of $158,000. And Mayor, I thank you for this.
Support.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience as well.
Supported.
Who's supporting that?
Kathy.
Kathy? I didn't hear you, Kathy.
I think we could all support that.
Can I support
It's been motion. Everybody support. Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo for ITB 23/24-05 Veteran Memorial Reconstruction. Any discussion?
Yes.
William?
Yes, I want to say thank you, Mayor. I know there's been a lot of contractors putting in bids, but because of, there wasn't major companies, we wasn't getting anywhere with it. The veterans and the families that had bricks in this particular monument really deserve this. I'm so glad they're going to start putting a shovel in the ground real soon. Can you keep the council informed? Like, I remember where it was originally supposed to go, but can we get a diagram before it comes back to us for any other reading of where it's gonna go, how it's gonna look? Because it's been a while, so
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And I know the veterans and those residents in the city of Romulus that have bricks in that monument is overjoyed about this. It's finally finna happen. They said it wasn't, and I said, you gotta work with them. And here we go. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up is a professional services contract for Phase 1 of the Police Department renovations and construction. I concur with the recommendation of Chief Robert Faunus, Police Chief and Legal Counsel, and respectfully request City Council authorize the Mayor and Clerk to enter into the attached professional services contract with Partners in Architecture, PLC, to begin Phase 1 for the programming/site facility analysis, conceptual design for the Romulus Police Department at a cost not to exceed $37,550. Maria Ferris, Finance Director, has verified funds for this acquisition are currently available in the Public Safety Police Contractual Services Fund account.
Through the chair,
Ms. Tally?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached professional services contract with Partners in Architecture, PLC, to begin Phase 1 for the program site facility analysis conceptual design for the Romulus Police Department at a cost not to exceed $37,550.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Ms. Abdo, for a professional services contract for Phase 1 Police Department renovations and construction. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
I spoke with the chief of police earlier today, and as I said to him, the Romulus, the building that the Romulus Police Department is in, it's over 80 years old. I just don't think that we need to keep putting our money, our tax dollars, whether it's from TIFA, I don't care where it's from, when it comes down to it, it's tax dollars, into an old building like that. I think it would be much better for our police officers and even our community to invest that money into the old court. It's just sitting there. We're leasing portion of that building to Wayne Metro. As I said to the chief, regardless of what my colleagues think, I think we need that money will be spent much better investing in putting the police department into that old court. I understand he said maybe $5 million. Well, the taxpayers approved a millage for the police and fire. Let's start using that money. The building is 80 years old. The city don't own the building. It belongs to the school. And as long as the city is there, they don't have to pay taxes or anything to the school. But the building is too old. Johnny went to that elementary school. Over 80 years old, I think, and most of the council members are up here, and you can hit yourself upside the head, we should have never built that court over there without putting the police department in it. I understand what's done is done, but we don't need to keep going back. We need to move forward. That court is sitting over there. The chief said it would be $5 million or more. It's worth investing that kind of money to put our police department in a decent building, that the roof is not leaking and it don't have black mold. And I'm not saying, chief, don't even start it. I'm not saying it has that, but it's that old. Anything 80 years old need to be torn down and brought back up. Every city around us have their police department in a decent building. Romulus police officers deserve it. We need to invest that $37,000 starting now into that old court. We need it. Andy Griffin looked better than this city. I'm sorry, other than the court. Everything is old. We're spending too much money. Let's go with the new stuff. As I said to you, police chief, earlier today, we won't be here in maybe 20, 30 years. The new generation will. Why don't we set it up for them, even if it's not for us? That old court should be set up, the money should be put into that building, put the police department over there and get them out of that old decapitated building. Because it's $37,000 now. How much is it going to be 3 months from now? How much is it going to be 6 months from now? Let's stop putting money in a building that's too old to even keep refurbishing. And I said that to you and I mean it from my heart. The police officers, the prisoners, everybody deserve it. They do. Mayor, and you wasn't the mayor at that time. You didn't make that decision, so you off the hook. But those that made that decision to build the Mall of America, and most of the time, no, serious, I've been saying this for the longest. Most of their court cases is online. Our police department should have been in that court, just like Dearborn Heights and some of the other cities. So instead of keep spending money, I think it's a waste of taxpayers' money to spend $37,000 to put it in that building when we can invest money into the old court. That's my opinion. I can't support spending no more money in that old school. I can't.
Thank you, and I appreciate the opinion. However, we did look at significantly with the building department, with multiple contractors, and we looked, we didn't want to throw good money after bad. And the truth of the matter is, buildings that are built pre-war are built to last. And that school building is actually a historic building. It's 100 years old. But first and foremost, the chief felt like that's a good base of operation for the police department. I'm going to listen to my directors and my chiefs when it's talking about police operations or fire operations or DPW, and they said it's a good base of operation. It keeps them central in the city, and it's a good campus. So we looked hard at it, and roughly we looked at new construction, we looked at rebuilding the existing police department, and also renovating the old court and moving them over here. And the most economical, sound decision came to rebuilding in the old building. So, Chief, if you want to come up and talk a little bit about why that was your choice or your first choice for that building?
Good evening. So first of all, I greatly appreciate you wanting us to have a better facility, and I mean that from my heart. So I agree. I think we really need one, and that's been a topic of discussion, I guess, for years. And some of the decisions on the new court building and whether the police should have been in there and all that predated us. So I have to accept the situation as I found it when I got here 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. So we paid an architectural firm to come in and look at the three options the mayor just brought up. And new construction, big cost. Fixing up the old court building right next door was, so what they estimated is if we stayed in our current footprint, that it would be about $10, $11 million. And that is to do a first-class renovation. And when they say renovation, there'd be things that would be knocked down. So it's not just a renovation, it'd be renovation and building. If we did the old court, they said because of structural reasons, and I don't have thorough understanding of architecture, but the design of the building, how wide things were, they said that it would cost about $5 million more, so $15 million, to do the old court. So when we looked at all the options, including the fact that the PD being downtown and anchors one of our historic neighborhoods, as well as they're trying to get economic development downtown, it checked a lot of boxes. It seemed to make financial sense. It would help with the economic development downtown, and it also is in the middle of neighborhoods. So it's, for those multitude of reasons, we went with that. Now, I'm like anybody else. Would I like a brand new house? I would. But I'm also trying to be a good steward with the taxpayers' money if this is done correctly.
And
John?
And I agree, but at the same time, like I said, in the decision of building that court, $18 million, and look what we stuck with. So I'd rather for the future, because it's not about now. It's not about us, like I said to you, it's about those that come after us. Why would we leave them in a structure that we keep putting a Band-Aid on? And I'm not saying that 37,000 is a Band-Aid, but the people, the taxpayers, when they approved that millage, it wasn't just for police service to come if I'm having an issue. It was also to be able to come to a decent building. You know, for prisoners to be in a decent facility, for the employees to work in a decent facility. And that's not happening. Like I said, I'm sorry whether anyone agree with me, but when I'm making the decision to spend money to make sense, not for the now, but for the later, for the future, Romulus deserve our police departments to be in a building. If we did it for the court, and that's our building, even though the court is housing it, that's the city building, but we can invest that money into that old court, get Wayne Metro out of there, and put the police officers in there. Now you have them in the same vicinity, the police department, the court, the city hall. I understand you're saying that it made more sense to keep it because it's downtown and you're trying to grow. I'm sorry. If Romulus don't get out of the time zone and think outside the box, what Romulus need, instead of constantly saying downtown, we need a new downtown. For the new generation, even for myself, I would say put a new downtown over off of Wick and Binding, and I'm saying this, I've said it before. Look, we got 94. We got 275. Nobody is coming off 94 and getting off of Wayne Road and going downtown unless they're going to the landing strip. The bank barely have customers now. So all I'm saying, and I mean it from the heart, I cannot support any money, not my money or anybody else's money, going into that old school. I understand what you're saying, it'll cost more money. I'd rather spend more money now and be happy later. We've doing it with a lot of other things. So the chief did say, Mayor, to me, he said what his thoughts was, and I gave him what my thoughts was. And I just think the residents, the police officers, and those that have to visit the police department deserve a decent building.
Can I add something to that real quick, Councilperson? So I agree.
Mr. Wadsworth had some. Go ahead, Mr. Wadsworth.
I just want to say that just because the building is old, it doesn't mean it's bad. I looked at what they did to the train station. That was well over 100 years old. I think this is the best thing that we can do right now. The people that live over there don't want that building vacated. They have a sense of a security over there. And it is part of our downtown, like it or not right now. And I think it works quite well there. And we should, as far as the police themselves, they have no complaints. We have supplied them with every other piece of equipment known to mankind. The building is old and everybody understands that, but I think it can be fixed. And that's my own opinion. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Thank you. Ms. Abdo?
I'd like to agree with Mr. Wadsworth. Yes, it's an old building,
I got something to say.
but I think it can be fixed. And the community around there is in total support of your staying there. Plus, we have the senior high-rise right behind you. It's a good community feel over there. And I support you.
Chair, can I add something?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to explain that $37,000 thing. So the $37,000 wouldn't go into the building. It goes to the.
I know.
Goes to the firm that, I understand that, Council Person. I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just wanting to explain it for anybody listening. So what we want this firm to do is come up with 3 architectural plans after they do what's called programming, where they come in and they meet with the different sections of the department. What are our needs? How do we move through the building? How close does the supervisor have to be to prisoners? Right now, we have to bring prisoners in view of the public in the front. That's not good for anybody. So all those type of things that would then go into the design. So that's what it's for, and I understand you know that, but I just wanted to say that.
And I just want to make it clear, through the chair, I understood that it wasn't going toward the instruction, it was just for the design, for 3 different proposals of a design, right?
Yes.
So my thing is this, we have 4 sides of the city, and every resident in the city deserves to feel protected with the police department, not so much away from them, but maybe smack dab in the middle, not just on one side where they've been and made just certain people or a certain area of the city feel comfortable. So I understand, and I said that from the beginning, that my colleagues have different opinions, and I'm okay with that. I'm saying how I feel and how I'm gonna vote. Because any money that's spent, I understand the building is old. The train station, Ford Motor Company had enough money to build 4 of them. We don't. So we have to deal with what we have. We can't compare what somebody else is doing. All I'm saying is, and I did make that clear to you, Chief, that $37,000 is not even the start of doing any construction. It's just for 3 developers or contractors' opinion. And that's why I said no. So I'm good. I mean, in spite of how my colleagues feel, that's their opinion. Everybody has one. Thank you.
Any other discussion? If there's no other discussion, thank you. Roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
You can't unring the bell. And I wasn't here at the time these deliberations were made, so it'd be unfair for me to make a determination now. So respectfully to my residents, I abstain.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up is for a piggyback on a My Deal contract for the purchase of ammunition for the police, practice ammunition, rather. I concur with the recommendation of Police Chief Robert Fonnes and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request Council's authorization to piggyback on the My Deal contract 071-B66-00126 to purchase ammunition for both practice range and on-duty purposes in the amount of $14,989.80 from Vance Outdoor Incorporated. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified funds for this purchase are currently available in Public Safety Fund.
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Roscoe?
I'll make that motion to piggyback on the My Deal contract for the purchase of the practice ammunition for the police department in the amount of $14,989.80 from Vance Outdoor Incorporated.
I second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, piggyback on My Deal contract for the purchase of practice ammunition for the police department. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have is sole source purchase for Vector Solutions Guardian tracking software, and that's also, again, to support public safety and the accreditation process for the Romulus Police Department. I concur with the recommendation of Robert Fonnes, Police Chief, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request City Council authorize sole source purchase of Guardian tracking software from Vector Solutions for the City of Romulus Police Department for a total cost of $19,602. The amount will be paid over a period of 3 years at $6,384 per fiscal year. First payment will include the one-time $450 implementation fee. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified these funds are available in the Public Safety Fund.
Through the chair.
Ms. Tally?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the sole source purchase of Guardian tracking software from Vector Solutions for the City of Romulus Police Department for a total cost of $19,602. The amount will be paid over a period of 3 years at $6,384 per fiscal year. First payment will include a one-time $450 implementation fee.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the sole source of purchase Vector Solutions Guardian tracking software. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have is new tasers for the police department. I concur with the recommendation of Robert Fanas, Police Chief, and Christina Parker, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request City Council authorize the purchase of 25 tasers along with 15 holsters and associated software under the term of Axon's Taser 10 bundling program at the reduced price of $144,625 over the next 5 years at a cost breakdown of $28,925 per year. Gary Harris, Assistant Finance Director, has verified these funds for this acquisition are available in the Public Safety Fund.
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Roscoe?
I'll make that motion for the Axon tasers for the police department in the amount of $144,625 over the next 5 years at $28,925 per year. And that would be 25 tasers along with 15 holsters and associated software.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for sole source purchase Axon tasers for the police department. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead, Ms. Tally.
Yeah, just a quick question, Chief. I might be stupid, but this says for the purchase of 25 tasers along with 15 holsters. The math ain't mathing for me.
We already have some of the holsters.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
I was going to ask that same question.
Okay. Is there no other?
That's it. Thank
discussion?
you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Tally. Any other discussion? Roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up tonight is the budget amendment for 23-24-20. I'm hereby requesting introduction of budget amendment 23-24-20 to amend the fiscal year 24 budget to account for cellular mobile services related to digital ally overages.
John,
Mr. Wadsworth?
I'm going to move for the introduction of budget amendment 23/24-20.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for introduction of budget amendment 23/24-20. Any discussion?
Yes.
Williams?
So what service is this for? What department is this for? Because it's saying it's for overage.
This is for PD for the body cameras.
Oh, for the body cameras, okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up is another budget amendment for 23-24-21. I'm hereby requesting introduction of budget amendment 23-24-21 to record additional project revenues and expenses for the Romulus Athletic Center as of May 31st, 2024 in the 23-24 fiscal year budget.
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Abdo?
I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and introduce budget amendments 23/24-21 to record additional projected revenues and expenses for the Romulus Athletic Center as of May 31st, 2024 for the 23-24 budget.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Tally, for introduction of budget amendment 23/24-21. Any discussion?
Yes.
I have a, oh, sorry.
Mr. Wilson?
Yeah, through the chair, please, thank you. it says to record additional projected revenues and expenses for the Romulus Athletic Center. Okay, so revenues obviously is money that you have to spend. Expenses are money that you, revenues and expenses, somehow I don't see a number here. I'm looking, can somebody help me here? I mean, is this what is this, open check or blank check? What are we saying here? Somebody help me out here, please, because I'm not really sure.
Mr. Wilson,
Mr. Wilson, go ahead.
what it was explained to me is that 5 on page 181 on that back sheet,
On page 181?
yes, the $540,640 is additional money that they're adding to that budget. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. That's what Maria shared with me earlier.
Okay. My apologies, I didn't see it. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes?
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, and I want to thank council tonight. There's a lot of work on the agenda for us, and the administration's getting a lot of work done, particularly here in public safety. So without council support, we'd be grinding to a halt on there. So thank you very much for that, and I appreciate you enduring the long agenda items for us tonight. And like I said, but there's a lot of good work the administration is getting done on help our department heads and public safety in particular tonight. And we couldn't get that done. And Mrs. Williams, or Councilwoman Williams, I appreciate your opinion on the court building, or the police building, but we wouldn't be wasting tax dollars. It's my tax dollars as well as yours, and if we didn't feel that building had good bones, we wouldn't be moving down this road. So I appreciate, your opinion, and we looked at it long and hard, and we had structural engineers come in here and evaluate it. And we've already invested capital improvement with the roof. The roof's been replaced in recent years. HVAC, so there's a lot of good potential there. But we find with that building, there's no synergy for a police department. It's developed over the years. Somebody needed an office and they gave them a hallway closet. And there was no flow to a proper police department. So we don't want to just put lipstick on a pig, so to speak. We want to make something that the residents will be proud of. It'll get a nod to our history, and also our officers will be proud to come there. But I appreciate your opinion on it, and I just want to clarify that we wouldn't travel down this path if it didn't have some
I'm
redeeming
still
qualities.
pray, Mayor, that maybe we can get somebody to come in and just build us a police department, because, they're doing it everywhere else, different organizations. We got Amazon, we got Penske, we got so many. We need to hit them up to do something for us more than what they're doing.
We've been hitting them. I'd love to have somebody take us up on that, but it hasn't happened yet, and we got to move forward. Like you said, they deserve a better building, so unfortunately, it's something Romulus got to buckle up and do it ourselves, because we're not getting help on it. So anyhow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Council. Great work tonight.
Thank you, Mayor.
Number 6 is the clerk's report. 6A, for second reading and final adoption of TA 2023-001, a proposed text amendment to Section 3.04, Sections A3, accessory buildings and structures, detached accessory building size, and Section 3.5, Sections A3, fences, location, and height of the City of Romulus zoning ordinances. This amendment was introduced at the June 10th council meeting, requesting approval for second reading and final adoption.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
I'm going to move for second reading and final adoption of the TA-2023-001, the zoning text amendment of single-family residential.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for second reading and final adoption to TA 2023-001, zoning text amendment, single-family residence. Any discussion?
Yes. Thank you, the building director. I don't see him, but this is really good, positive thing for the residents, that they don't have to spend that money going through zoning boards of appeal, getting a waiver or a variance through the zoning boards of appeal for a fence. They just go straight to the building department. So this is a plus for the residents, for anybody looking to put a fence up. So I definitely support it.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. 6B, we have a special meeting request. Treasurer Page is requesting a 45-minute study session for Monday, July 8, 2024 at 6:45 p.m. And this is to discuss the quarterly investment report. Both the date and time are available to this request.
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Roscoe?
I'll make that request for a special meeting, study session on Monday, July 8th, 2024 at 6:45 from Treasurer Page to discuss the quarterly investment report.
I second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally. Request for special meeting, study session on Monday, July 8th at 6:45 p.m. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion is approved.
Thank you. 6C, this is a request for a special meeting public hearing. Julie Albert, Director of Assessing and Financial Services, is requesting a 30-minute public hearing for Monday, July 22nd, 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. to provide public input on the proposed assessment role for the Merriman Special Assessment District. The date and time are both available for this request.
Through the chair, I'll make that motion to request a special meeting and public hearing on Monday, July 22nd, 2024 at 7 p.m.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe. Request for special meeting public hearing on Monday, July 22nd, 2024. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
The chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. 6D, this is a first reading and introduction of amendments to the ordinance. We're asking council to concur with the recommendation of the city attorney and the administration and approve the first reading and introduction to amendments to Chapter 62, Water and Sewer System, Article 4, Combined Systems, Sections 22-357 through 62-369 of the City of Romulus Code of Ordinances.
Through the chair,
Ms. Tally?
I'd like to make the recommendation of this, concur with the recommendation of the city attorney and the administration and approve the first reading and introduction to amendments to Chapter 62-Water and Sewer System, Article 4, Combined Systems, Section 62-357 through 62-369 of the City of Romulus Code of Ordinances.
Been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Mr. Wadsworth. First reading and introduction of amendments to Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62 through 357 through Section 62 to 369 of the City of Romulus Code of Ordinance. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes. Hold on a second. We're talking about Section 62, 359?
Yes.
Where it speaks to the water. Let me just help me out here. It says, "The water and sewer system shall be under the management, supervision, and control of the Department of Public Works. The department shall have the power to promulgate rules and regulations relating to the use of the water and sewer system, subject to the prior approval by," and here we go, "it was customarily listed as resolution of the City Council." Now, it's saying the mayor. Is that what we're discussing here?
Yep.
Okay, so just bear with me for a moment. Let me help everyone out here. Everybody talks about we're engaging in semantics. I guess the city attorney interpreted what this meant, obviously the mayor as well, in addition to our finance director, Maria Ferris, I think is who it was that they talked about, determining what this language means. So semantics. meaning and interpretation of words, which largely determines our reading comprehension, how we understand others, and even what decisions are made as a result of our interpretations. For example, the word crash can mean an accident, a drop in the stock market, or attending a party without an invitation, like I used to do back in the day. So this is indicative of semantics. What we have here is clear and perceivable. You crossed out the resolution of the city council and give it to the mayor. I can't sit here and allow that to happen, sir. No disrespect to you, but respectfully, I disagree with that. I disagree with that interpretation. That is not semantics. That's a clear supplantation of the resolution of the city council and our authority to legislate and try and replace it with the mayor, who has executive authority to enforce, but not to legislate. So that's my humble opinion. No disrespect, but that's all I got to say.
Ms. Abdo? Oh.
Okay.
Ms. Abdo?
I'd like Maria Ferris to come up. She gave me an explanation today that clarified it. Do you mind, Maria? And I felt comfortable after speaking with her.
Well, I'll let Maria, then I got something to say.
Good evening, Council. So based on our discussion earlier, we were talking about the charter and as well as how it was interpreted. And I spoke to a lot of council members, so there was a lot of conversations regarding this today. So I have it here with me. So if I remember correctly, we were just talking about the duties of the mayor, correct?
Right.
Okay. So with this, it also talks about, he shall approve the regulations of the directors, the department heads. And correct me if I'm wrong, because we went through a few different things, Ms. Abdo. Departments of city governments. Also, we talked about the section that refers to Department of Public Works. And that the mayor has the administrative rights to make decisions, and it speaks directly to it in the charter as well. Going back a little bit further to last year, so a little bit of history. When the methodology changed of the water rates, the readiness to serve charge changed. So that at that time, we had the opportunity to be able to say, okay, we're changing our rates, let's take a look at our ordinances too to make sure that they match. Other communities are the same. When we started the process, we decided that some of the language, when we reviewed it, was not aligned with our ordinances, and that was the opportunity to make sure that if any resident looked at our ordinances, it would match their water bills. So that's where the changes came to. That language for the council, where it says resolution by council, that doesn't speak towards that in the charter. And I think that that's what we were trying to make sure that it was clear that anytime we do make changes, we do bring them to council. However, on the day-to-day basis, the mayor is the one that helps and runs the departments. So what we're trying to do here is just make sure that both are in a line, letting know that the mayor, per the charter, and I'm not going to, I don't have every section of the charter here, and his exact duties, making sure that they're aligned with our ordinances.
Sure. If I can interject just quickly, Section 5.3, duties of the mayor, Mayor McCray, under K, is clear. The mayor shall approve the rules and regulations of several directors, department heads, commissions, or boards in charge of the departments of the city government before such rules and regulations shall become effective, except as otherwise provided by this charter. Now, under K, the mayor approves or regulates, he doesn't approve or regulate the city council. Can we all agree with that? The mayor only rules and regulates the directors, the department heads, the commissions or boards in charge of the departments of the city government, not underscore, emphasize, and highlight the city council. So what I'm having trouble kind of squaring, if you will, is the fact that from my interpretation, from my analysis, and my council members are going to speak as well, it strongly appears that resolution of the city council is being removed in term of the mayor in that specific resolution, if you will. I'm not sure how you can try and make this, how you try and make this right when it says right here, we're being removed, the resolution of the city council. It's clear. It doesn't say anything other than that. It's very, very straightforward. So the charter is determined by the people. The ordinance determines how we deal with the charter. So if the mayor, and I think Mr. Miller, one of our residents, said here when he was, I think about a couple weeks ago, he said that when he went through this, I think he said the mayor's name was mentioned twice in this document, and city council, I think it was 29 times, if I remember correctly. So now, I think the mayor's trying to get three shots to be, go ahead.
Not necessarily.
Okay, help me out there, I'm just asking a question, I need to be clear.
Correct, no.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
think that was the opportunity of, having the conversation with council and letting them know. There were a lot of redundant words in the ordinances that we were trying to make sure they were aligned and brought up to speed. When I did meet with our city attorney, he interprets the law and the charter. I'm not an attorney, so I look for his recommendation. We wanted to make sure, again, that even when, you're referencing the charter here, it also says, there's many lines in this charter that identify what the mayor's duties are, what council's duties are. So, again, our main focus is just to make sure that the charter is in line with our ordinances and in line with, every year we bring our rates to council to approve, to review, so it's not as if we would never not bring them in front of council.
Yes, thank you, Maria. And if I'm not mistaken, this language has been present in the charter for decades. For decades. Decades, it's been here, right? I'm sorry?
I don't believe it's been decades, if I can't through the chair.
Yes, go ahead, Mayor.
Go ahead, please.
And that's all we're talking about here, and I respect your opinion on it, in the reading on it. What we're looking through when we go through these ordinances, we try to look for inaccuracies. And that statement, as it's written in 62-359, is just an inaccurate statement. I don't know why it's been there, it's never been discovered before, but now when they're going through these ordinances, they found it. Because, we had 3 main breaks on Friday night after hours. Can we imagine if we had to wait for council to make a resolution to go after these? So there's administrative abilities that run through the mayor's office, particularly when it comes to running different departments, agencies, police, fire, building, DPW. We still answer to council with the legislative rules, but in this particular comment right here in this section, it was inaccurate. So we're just trying to make it right and in line with what's dictated in the charter. And that's, we submitted the language on the charter too that shows the duties and powers and regulations of the mayor's office. So this is not something where we're trying to circumvent city council. We're just trying to make sure that this language is correct. As it's written right now, it's incorrect.
Look. Maria, y'all know how I feel about the city attorney opinion. They argue opinions every day in court and don't win. The city attorney is looking at this and giving us his opinion. All I'm saying, as long as I've been looking at this document, by council, by resolution, the council is scratched out. You're up there rhyming and reasoning about the water bill. We're not talking about the water bill. We're talking about the authority of council. We don't want to get confused. It says, and it's been in there, it's highlighted in red to scratch it out. Not saying anything negative against the mayor because the former administrations have always ruled the council. I'm here. The people put me here to do what's right. Probably nobody up here voted for me, but the people did. So I'm going based on what the people want, and they want us to keep the authority. You are a employee of the city. What happens to these residents doesn't affect you. It affects us because we're residents. I said to you on the phone this morning, I had a long conversation with you. And I don't like playing games with words. And I don't believe in the mayor. I've said this several times, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being straight to the point. I don't believe half of what the city attorney recommend. I don't. He got our city in the worst shape it's ever been. His opinion, his recommendations. All I said, everything else in this document will be fine. It can get approved tonight, go through everything. Take that out, Leave it by the resolution of council, because there's been many water main breaks. I've been driving around town plenty of times for years, and they've been out fixing water main breaks and never had to have a council meeting. So whatever the reason is, whatever the city attorney advised you to bring to us, he's wrong. He don't live here. He's not affected by how we vote. We're affected. The people hold us accountable. They don't hold you. They don't even know you. So what I'm saying, and I said it to you today, and you should have delivered that message to the mayor's office, take that out. It can go through. I don't agree with giving away the powers that the people, let me tell you, to understand this, what is the meaning of the legislative body? They make the rules. What is the meaning of the executive branch? They enforce them. It's always been that way. It'll always be that way. State, federal, always. So all I'm saying to you, Maria, you should have delivered that, because I've said it, I meant it, I don't agree with it. It should stay by the resolution of the council, not by the mayor. I'm not taking anything away from the mayor, but this document was written up for a reason. This document follows the charter. The charter don't follow this.
Actually, it contradicts the charter.
I understand that, but whoever wrote it might have been drinking or something, I don't know, but we gotta go with what's in here. That's like people try to change the Bible, but the Bible says what it says. So this right here is what they wrote. So we can't come back and change it unless we take it to the people of this city and say, do y'all want the mayor to have the power to do this outside of the other duties? That's when it changes. But we can't sit up here as council members and change. The charter says one thing. This has to correspond with the charter. This says the council. It's scratched out now and says the mayor. So this has to correspond with the, as Mr. Wilson said, and I went through this and I asked different questions. It says the mayor approves and regulates commission, directors, department heads, and all boards. City, anybody that's running city government. It don't say anything about the council. So I'm saying, I'm not saying the mayor that you try to do anything bad, but I believe you're getting bad information from that city attorney. And as I said at the last meeting, he need to be docked, fired, or something, because he is not leading us in the right direction. He's not. It takes common sense to know that the council is the legislative body, the mayor is the executive branch. We are supposed to make the rules. This council, get mad if you want to, but for too long have been letting, not this administration, but the former administrations run y'all. And that's not why the people put y'all here. So don't get mad at me, because I'm going to do the job I promised the people I'm going to do. I was elected to be a part of the legislative body to make the rules. Just like the simple stuff, what's happening on Dexter. But we can't make a resolution to put up some signs to create havoc on a street that's causing residents havoc every day. But yet instead we quick to hurry up and support something that don't make sense. I don't agree. I said to Maria, you should have delayed that message to the mayor, that I don't agree with it. All they had to do is take that out, and this entire document would have passed. So if y'all want to, with my vote, get this passed tonight, because I know it's very important. It was supposed to have been done by July the 1st. So if you want my support, take that out, agree to take that one out, leave it by the resolution of council. I don't have a problem with none of the rest of the stuff. Other than that, you can't reword the Bible, you can't reword the ordinance, you can't reword the charter.
Mayor?
Just, I agree with what you just said, Councilwoman Williams. The charter is approved by the people.
Yeah.
The ordinance is approved by city council.
I know that.
Council can amend ordinances all the time. In fact, we just did that here tonight.
I know.
On other amendments. So it is the council's authority to amend
know.
the ordinance when it's pointed out that this is incorrect language. We're just trying to modify that.
I know. Mayor, I understand that you feel.
Can I offer this? Can I offer this, though? Because it is inaccurate, and it conflicts with the charter, and instead of removing your name or city council putting the mayor's office in there, can we just strike 62-359 from the document? Because it's an inaccurate statement.
I don't see where. if this been here, the ordinance been here, I'm not for sure how old this is. I know, I received an ordinance when, what is her name? Abby Atkins, I think that was back in it was dated 1971, and it said the same thing. I don't understand how all of a sudden it became so inaccurate about this. It says by resolution. What's wrong with leaving it as resolution by council? If we want to change it, I know the council can amend the ordinance, but if we want to change it, let's take it and take the council, take the authority away from the council, let's take it to the people. Other than that, leave it alone. Just don't scratch council out. I think the problem is, seriously, Mayor, and it is nothing against you. This council I've set up, and they ask people to vote for them. It is so easy to say yes, 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 and not study and not even think about what's going to happen. Like, that's why we got that big, humongous court over there. So all I'm saying, it's time now to do the job that they put us here to do. Take that mayor out, leave the council, and I'm good, because that's what it says.
Okay.
And the city attorney should have been here so he can answer his opinion.
Mr. Wadsworth?
If I can, you know, the main purpose that I see of this is in the middle of the night, a weekend in February, January, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you have a water main break, and we've got to buy some equipment to take care of the residents. The mayor would be the one that would okay it. Is that correct? And that's what this does. They're not going to call us people at 3 o'clock in the morning.
What they've been doing for decades.
Virginia.
Okay.
Finish, okay? And, you know, it actually helps the residents. I mean, if, you know, you get up in the middle of the night and you can't flush your toilet, or you don't have any water, and they need a piece of equipment to purchase to fix the problem, this is what this takes care of. And that's all I got to say.
Run the vote.
Any other discussion?
Run the vote.
If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
No.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Mr. Wilson? Mr. Wilson?
Respectfully, no.
Chair votes yes, motion fails. Motion fails.
You need 5 votes.
Need 5 votes, right? Need 5 votes, Madam Clerk?
5 votes for a supermajority, yes.
Yep, motion failed. Next. Next.
Thank you. Yep. Takes us to 6E, notice of water and sewer rate changes. The Finance Department has submitted the official notice of determination for water and sewer rates and fee changes. Pursuant to Chapter 62, Article 5, Section 62-405 and 62-406 of the Romulus Code of Ordinance, the amount of rates and charges and the intervals at which users of the waterway system and the water system are billed shall be determined no less than annually by the administration and presented to council for their notification and review. The determination of the administration shall take effect 10 days following the date of the meeting in which the city council is presented with the official notice of such determination unless rejected by a 2/3 majority of the city council. So in this case, council, you are receiving notice of the water and sewer rate changes. The only action that is to be taken unless you disagree with what is being presented to you. There is no action to approve, only action to disagree, should you disagree. Otherwise, there's no action taken. And it has to be a 2/3 majority vote to disagree with the notice of water and sewer rates.
Yes, I totally disagree. I said it to Marie earlier. I don't see where it's necessary to increase the reconnection fee from 40 to 50, when in that document that just didn't pass, it was increasing, it was tripling the amount that a person that turns on their water illegally, it was going from 40 to 120. And so now we get this document, we don't have to vote on it, but in here it's saying the original amount, if your water get turned off to reconnect it, is $40. They want to, the finance department is asking us to increase it $10. I said to her, and I meant it, I don't have $5 extra to give her. Nobody's salary is going up. You got food, you got gas, you got everything. We're not considering the residents. And she was trying to tell me how much it goes into the employees. The employees work for 8 hours. So in the 8 hours, I don't care if they have to paint a house, sweep a floor, turn water on. In them 8 hours, they do what is necessary in them 8 hours. They shouldn't charge extra money to the taxpayers or to the residents because they got to go turn water on and turn it off. That's what she explained to me. It don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't agree for myself first because I'm a resident and I'm a taxpayer. Charging an additional $10. Really? You know, and I think, and as I said to Maria, she wasn't here, what happened and why did the city change it from when a person water bill is behind, they would just put it on the taxes. And then now the city, the resident will deal with their taxes, that additional water being on a bill on their taxes, instead of shutting them off. Because as I said to her, water is a necessity. You turn people water off and they're without water for, say, a week or two, that home is inhabitable. They shouldn't even be there. You shouldn't be in a home without running water. And so we put the residents in a position to where we don't know what their financial situation is. And let me tell you something. It's a lot of things going on in the city that shouldn't be going on. And for us to hit the residents like this, I think it's unfair. I told Maria I didn't like that. She should have talked about it. I can't vote on that. I don't know what the rest of them will do, but I don't agree. It should be $40 as it always have been. Once we get more businesses where they can pay their fair taxes instead of putting them in the Tiffin district and the tax increment finance authority district and all of those other districts, the taxpayers need a break. And I'm speaking for myself first. I need a break. I really do. I just can't see increasing it. And then this wasn't even discussed, it's just slipped in there in yellow. Like, I guess most of them don't read it. I seen it, I watch money, ask Johnny. I watch my money. Now that $10, that means a lot. And I done had my water turned off before, even though the last time it was by mistake, but I still got charged. That $40, if a person get their water turned off for $100, if they can't pay the $100, what make us think they're gonna be able to pay $50 to get it turned back on? Where they gonna get that from? If they already struggling. As I said to Maria, she don't live here, we have more townhouses, low-income units in this city than we have homes. We have to think about that when we're making decisions. Who's actually paying the taxes? Those homeowners that do live in homes that's struggling to pay the taxes. That's my opinion about that $10.
Any other discussion? Mayor?
Just one comment to clarify, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that the water department's not trying to, the comment was made to slide one through, and that's not what they're trying to do. This is completely transparent. That's why they presented it to city council for look and review and opinion and comment on it. So I just want to make sure that, that's the reason we're here today, is because Maria and her staff are being transparent and wanting to make sure they share the information, so.
Okay.
Chair, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. A question, whoever can answer it. What is the underlying rationale for the increase in the fee from $40 to $50? I mean, I know that everybody's experiencing inflation, gas prices, food on the table, kids going to school, paying your rent. What is the underlying reason for us reaching for $10?
But, and you just said the costs are going up towards the city of Romulus too, so the city has to incur these costs. I mean, now we're paying for our labor and trade to go out there and do that. But like I said, this is why it's up there for, to council for discussion.
I appreciate
but yeah,
that,
the
Mayor.
reason that you just described for everybody, it's the same for the city. We're paying more for everything right now, and that's why this was.
I appreciate that, Mayor, and I said that to say this. I think we just approved over, I don't know, I lost count, tens of thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money that I'm looking here that we just approved, and, I mean, I'm not sure how much it was. My head, I lost count at 1 million, I believe it was. So we're talking about $10 for the residents, for a reconnect fee. I'm not sure that that makes much sense at this point in time. That's my comment.
Mayor?
Through the chair, and I said this at the last meeting too, and there was a little bit of confusion or some language. If there's additional changes of language that city council wants to see in these, send it over, and we'll make sure that staff reviews it or looks at it, or we can incorporate or possibly modify it, but.
John, let me say this. And to the mayor, I like I said to Maria, if I don't know what you can do to back it up, but if even the administration was willing to just take that out tonight, it can get approved that we can move forward. It's just that one thing. Originally, I was against the tripling, but it's that one thing to take away the authority of the council. So if you, and I know it needs to be approved, so if we can bag it up, the mayor or administration agreed to take that one out, we can do the first reading.
Okay, so on the one we're talking about right now with item E, if council amends the resolution to approve, subject to keeping the penalty fee for water turnoffs the same as, we can amend it, if that's made the motion.
No, I'm not talking about that.
As far as the other language, I'd have to talk to legal counsel on that one because that is an inaccurate statement. Maria did tell me what your concerns were, and I said, I don't feel comfortable putting it through if it's inaccurate information. So we're going to do a little work on that language right there. But on this one right here, if council wants to make a resolution for it, subject to us keeping the penalties for turn-on the same, we can make that adjustment.
Excuse me, just a little correction. The ordinance dictates that council is just made aware that you receive notice of these changes. So no action is necessary unless you disagree and you want to entertain a motion to reject what's being proposed here, or what the fees are going to be. So that's the only action that would be taken. So it would be up to you all on that.
And what I was speaking of is the 3.5962. I was saying that because it's been said that it was such an emergency that we needed to get this done before July the 1st. So that's why I brought that up.
It's two different subjects.
Oh, okay,
But we can amend this.
That's what you're discussing, Councilwoman, is the ordinance amendment.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Right, but we're now at E, so this.
I understand that,
okay.
but that's what I was saying.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I guess the question is, what say you, council? Do we move on to the next one, or are we?
What we can do is, with council's comments tonight, we can amend the notice and resubmit to city council, correct?
But, pardon me, but aren't we talking about the water rates right now in front of us? And that's what we should do. We should either reject them or let's move on.
But right, if you want to, since we're moved down the agenda, if you want to go back and discuss 6D, the first reading and introduction of the ordinance amendment, then we could do that under unfinished business. I believe that we could do that. We can rediscuss, revisit it, but we've already moved past that, and the vote has already been taken regarding that motion, so we would have to, so before any changes, we would have to, under unfinished business, we can discuss it further, because the motion has already been.
Okay.
But if the action here is required is no action by city council, and the administration can amend the language to reflect the concerns.
Right.
Is that correct? I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, so that Phil can, I guess you can ask, yes, I'm just reading this. You can ask for a motion for reconsideration on that particular ordinance, amendment. So I don't know if you want to do that tonight or under unfinished business or however.
Through the
whatever.
chair, before we do anything, I am so confused right now. I don't know what to do. I need clarity. We mixing stuff here. I need to be clear what we talking about. I thought we was talking about approving the rate increase. I'm confused. Can somebody make it clear to me what we're doing right now?
Well, we are at 6E. We're at 6E, and the question is, do we move on to 6F?
So why are we talking about going back to something else?
It's behind us, as far as I'm
I
concerned.
agree, but it was brought up.
It's behind us.
Right, it was brought up, so that's, we said, the only way to bring it up again, to discuss it, because there's already been roll call vote, is under unfinished business. If you all want to revisit 6D again, you can revisit it under unfinished business, but at this time, we are on 6E, and my question is, council, do we move on, or are you going to make a motion to reject what is being presented before you under agenda item 6E?
If nobody,
Move on, John.
we'll move on because if
All
not,
right.
it takes 5 votes to say
Right.
no, so move on next.
Okay, thank you. So now we are at 6F. This is for the approval of the 2024 honorary street sign dedication applications. Memo is as stated, at the March 22nd, 2021 regular city council meeting, the council adopted the honorary street sign dedication policy that enables the city to commemorate individuals who have made significant contributions to the community and humanity. The application period was from April 1st, 2024 to May 6th, 2024. For the 2024 application period, the clerk's office has received 11 applications. Should the council approve all 11 applications submitted during the 2024 application period, 2 actions are required. To amend the honorary street sign dedication policy to approve applications that exceed the 5 application limits set in the policy. And then 2, to approve the honorary street sign dedication applications honoring Eddie Jones, Leela Carter, Melvin Carter, Harry Scott Jr., Celeste Warren, Ron and Debbie Dick, Eva Webb, Ben Robbins, Rob Jesco, Mary Franklin, and Florence Rupert, effective 2025. So at this time, council, if someone will first entertain a motion to amend the honorary street sign dedication policy.
I'll make that motion to
Support.
amend.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Williams, to amend the honorary street sign dedication. Any discussion? Hearing none,
Have a study session.
roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The second part of this motion would be to approve the honorary street sign dedication program application honoring those members I stated earlier, with the exception of Florence Rupert, which would be effective 2025.
Need a motion?
That motion.
I'll support that.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for approval of the 2024 honorary street design, exceptional 1. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. Before I close out my report, I just want to echo the mayor's comments on the Juneteenth celebration that just happened this past weekend, and thank all of the committee members, sponsors, vendors, department heads, the administration, fire department. Thank you for your support. We had a great second-year event, so looking forward to next year. Also, want to announce we have a August 6th primary election coming up, and beginning Thursday, June 27th, we will begin mailing out your absentee ballots. Any questions? And absentee ballots are available for those that want to walk in and obtain an absentee ballot for the August primary election. And with that, that concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Our city treasurer is not here this evening, so there is no treasurer's report. Takes us to public comment. This is the portion of the agenda for those who are in the audience who would like to address City Council. The rules to address council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. To address City Council, raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Note, members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Mr. Chair and Council, I have received 4 written requests to speak under public comment this evening. The first written request is coming from Olivia Ross. Ms. Ross, if you could take the podium, please.
Good evening, everyone, to the mayor and to the council. I am Olivia Ross, and I'm here to address an ordinance. I live on Chamberlain Street in Romulus, and we have an ordinance that across the street from my home, we have the field, and we are not to park on that field, let's say at any time. I received a $180 ticket. I had the lawn service come and cut my grass, and it was at 3:49 p.m. when I got the ticket. I couldn't have been, he was there no more than an hour. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, I've been here for 33 years. We've never had a complaint from the church. They've never told us that we couldn't park over there. Now the ordinance department is coming and saying that we can't park, so do we park on the street?
Can't.
You know, give us some clarity as to what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it. You said, okay, well, we're gonna give you a warning, so they sent out letters saying, hey, you can't park across the street, but you're not telling us why, and the church is not telling us that we can't. So I need some clarification on that, and this $180 ticket. That ain't going good.
John.
Because I don't think that's right.
Go ahead.
No, and Mayor, I sent that ticket because Ms. Ross contacted me. If you look at Chamberlain and Beverly Road from Chamberlain all the way to Hurst Street, or it might be all the way to Cincinnati. That street is not wide enough for the residents on Chamberlain from Beverly to Cincinnati to even park on one side without vehicles being able to go north and south. So I don't know where it came up at. I don't know how all of a sudden it happened. And when Ms. Ross contacted me with that ticket, the young lady that wrote the ticket, the ordinance lady, she wrote the wrong license plates and the wrong color car. I mean, so something is happening. I'm not for sure why all of a sudden just that end of town is being targeted, $180 ticket. And this is what I'm saying. We're constantly coming up, this city is coming up with ways to get more money out of the residents. I can see if a person violated the ordinance or didn't abide by the ordinance, maybe a $45 ticket, a couple warnings, you know, but right off the bat, $180, that's a bit much. And so it has to be addressed, it has to be dealt with, because I'm telling you, I went down there. I'm not a rocket scientist, I didn't have a measuring stick, but if Miss Ross' car is parked in front of her house, another car can barely get down the street or back up the street. So you're kind of putting them in a bad situation to say that they can't park on the property, and I'm not mistaken, the city easement, the city owned a lot of that property, even though it belongs to the church, until somebody start building on it, and then that's when you'll know what portions that the city owned. I don't see why Roger, the new ordinance director, had the ordinance young lady to go out there with all these ridiculous rules, because they are targeting them. And then I'm looking at other areas in that same distance. They're not saying nothing. And so, you know, when the residents start calling me saying, hey, why is they doing this to us? And it kind of looks like it's council, because, you know, we vote and we make the decisions. We didn't even know this was taking place, because I sent it to several of the council members to see that this was taking place. So we need to address it. We don't need to use a rocket scientist to figure it out. They cannot. And that side that their homes is on, because there's no side on the west side of, say, the north side of the Chamberlain, they have a fire hydrant there. And the same thing with Dexter. You're not supposed to park in front of a fire hydrant or on the same side of the street. So we have to get the rules, it's just like with this ordinance. We have to make sure everybody is being fairly treated, because it doesn't seem right. And I don't know, Mayor, if you was aware of this one. I think I sent it to the Mayor's Chief of Staff, but yeah, that's a situation that has to be corrected, and I'm sure that's why a lot of the residents are out there, because at first it was Dexter, now it's Chamberlain, and it's not making any sense.
Through the chair.
Mayor? Through the chair. Before you leave today, I'd like to get your phone number, if you give it to the Chief of Staff so we can look into the matter. Ms. Williams did send that, or Councilwoman Williams did send the photograph over, and we talked to staff a little bit, but there's additional details that I need to have answers to, so if you would, just give her your contact information, we'll make sure we look into it more and reach out to you and find out what's going on.
So, through the chair, please.
Ellen has it?
Yes, go ahead,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wilson.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilson?
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Chairman. In my estimation, it's pretty clear. Was there a no parking sign on the lawn?
No.
I'm sure many of us have been involved in a situation where you driving down the road and the police officer pulls up behind you and he says, hey, you were speeding. I say, look, man, it's my first time doing it. I got a pretty good record. Go check it out. He comes back and says, hey, you do have a good record. I'm going to give you a warning. Don't let me see you do this again. He don't say, I'm going to throw the book at you in most instances. And he's going to say, or he might say, I'm going to lessen the penalty. I'm going to mitigate the penalty. I'm going to give you impeding traffic, meaning you're driving too slow, even though you're driving fast as heck. So my point is, first-time offenders, somebody who was unaware, somebody who was getting their lawn cut, and they had to park the car somewhere, it seems to me it's overkill to try and charge $180 to a resident at this time when she didn't feel that she was doing anything wrong. I mean, she didn't kill anybody, she didn't rob anybody. I mean, she parked the car on her lawn to get it out the way so they can cut the grass, or whatever the case may be. I just think we need to take, as you said, Mayor, take a serious look at this, and let's stop being so presumptuous when we give our residents tickets. I mean, and I don't want to belabor the point, but we got a situation on E-Course and Wayne Road, and to Mr. Scapatisi's credit, it was fixed in 24 hours. There was cars going up and down one lane on E-Course and Wayne Road. I'm out there talking to the residents. I damn near got hit. So I took a picture of it, and I sent it to you, Mayor, and I sent it to Julie and the rest of your staff. And the next day, the road closed sign was there, which is awesome, because somebody could have got killed there. I'm looking, two cars are coming the same way, trying to squeeze through that little narrow traffic way, and it could have been a catastrophic situation. So again, to your credit, when you get the information, you did pounce right on it, so I got to give you credit where credit is due. So in this case, same thing here. I know you're going to look at the details, but I think at the end of the day, we need to err on the side of the resident there, if you will, and giving her the break that she deserves.
Yeah, we'll definitely look into it. And even today, we went out to Wayne and E-Course again, and the sign's already down again. So
It's down again?
Yeah, so we're out there again, putting it back up.
Somebody must be taking it down.
That's a whole different subject. And on this one, typically, ordinance will send letters out before, so I don't know if we have new personnel or what. That's what, there's a lot of details I want to look into on this one and see what's going on. Because typically, they're not that heavy-handed to come out and just write a ticket, so, but we'll find out.
And this,
You finish up?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, now.
Thank you.
this is when I say, the council, use their authority. With this ordinance, you know, we can make a suggestion. Just until the church or the property owner decide to do something with that property to where they start building, now the road can get wider because, you know, they got construction going on. But until then, I think this council, it would only be fair for this council to pass, make an amendment to this ordinance that we've been talking about all night, to allow this to take place until further notice. It's been going on for 40 years. How do you all of a sudden stop something that's been going on for 40 years and then start charging the residents this ridiculous amount of money? And you're talking about, because I've been over there, they have nowhere else to park. They can't park in front of their house. If they got 3 cars, they can't get them all in the driveway. So what we gonna do, limit them on how many cars they have? So this is a time, I say, is when the council come together and make a decision. We always want to put it on the mayor. We always want to put it on the mayor. Let it be on the mayor. Then make him look bad. No, we're the legislative body. We make the rules. We need to amend the ordinance to deal with this issue. Seriously. And stop just kicking it down the road and we'll get back with them later. They're here looking for an answer. Not next week. You got the holiday coming. So is the police going to go over there and try to give everybody a ticket? Because the fireworks, because we just approved for over 200-300 people to be parked on that street, and that's where they're going to be, on that grass. So how is it fair for us to approve a block party? And these people to be coming from everywhere, parked up on the same grass the residents that live on that street can't park on a regular basis. That's a problem. That's unfair. Don't make sense. Probably didn't even think about it. But that's the same area we talking about. That we just said yes, and can we come to the party? Where we gonna park? Up on the grass? Same grass they can't park up on. Now we gotta use common sense. No, we need to do something with this ordinance to say until we can make a better decision on Chamberlain. For these folks, and it's probably about 30, because my in-laws live on Chamberlain, about 30, 40 people from Beverly Road and Chamberlain all the way to Van Born, to allow them. The church ain't had no problem. It's been 40 years. I'm telling the council up here today. The church have not had a problem with them parking on that property. So why should the city? And why should we say yes to a block party that's going to bring 40, 50, no telling how many cars up on that property while we sleep or the city closed? It's okay? So let us do our job, seriously. And stop always waiting for the mayor or putting it on the mayor. I've said that before. We want to put the blame on the mayor and say, that's the mayor's fault. The mayor said that. The mayor told us that. What is our position? Legislative body, look it up. And if we don't want to do our job, seriously, like so many other people that run for office, stop running. Stop lying to the people talking about you're going to do something, and then when you get that power, you don't. So I say to the council, this is a time for us to say to the mayor, this is what we want to see changed.
Through the chair.
In our ordinance.
Go ahead, Ms. Talley.
Okay. Just as a heads up, let me just say this. We don't know what we don't know. So I have no clue as to what's going on. So if somebody want to draft out the amendment to the ordinance and present it to council, because if I don't know nothing, I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's get an amendment to the ordinance, and let's get it before council so we can take a look at it, and then we move from there. So I just need to see the language.
First of all, we would have the city attorney to draw the amendment up. We wouldn't do it.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
we need to see the language.
So that's what I'm saying tonight.
Right, and like I said, I don't know what I don't know. So, yeah, I need to see the language.
Reading is fundamental.
I need to see the language.
Okay,
We have another written request from Teresa Bond.
Hello, Teresa Vaughn, City Council Mayor. Same situation. I live on Timberlake Street. So the street is very narrow. It's dangerous for us to leave our cars parked on the curb in front of our homes because it's so narrow where other cars can hit our vehicles. getting our grass cut. You can't park on the curb because they got riding lawnmowers. We have to park in the field because the other side of the street, there's no parking. I've been there 3 years, and we've had no problems. From my understanding, the church owns a lot of that property, and they don't mind us parking there. They just want us, when they're cutting the grass at the field, they want us to remove our cars, which is only fair, only right. But other than that, I don't see why they would give us tickets or make it an issue all of a sudden. That's it.
Thank you.
And through the chair, thank you for letting us know that.
Thank you.
The next request is from Regina Carter.
Good afternoon. I live on Chamberlain as well, and I've been living on Chamberlain for 30 years. I have had 3 mailboxes torn down for them driving from Beverly Road, turning onto Chamberlain, tearing up mailboxes. So I don't want to park a car on the street. It's already dark at night. I ain't asking for lights so my taxes can go up. I'm just letting you know it's dark over there at nighttime. You can't see your hand in front of you. So parking across the street is just an extra way of saying you got your car across the street and not on the street, because we have people have built their mailbox of concrete, because we're tired of buying mailbox on Chamberlain Street because the way they come down the street speeding fast. So please look into this so we can get some type of situation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last written request is from Devin, is it Locust? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'll make this quick. I know everyone's tired.
Take your time, Devin.
What's that?
Take your time.
Oh, yeah.
3
Good
minutes.
evening, everyone, council, mayor. My name is Devin Locust. I'm a resident here. I live on Ecorse and Wayne Road, serves Romulus. My question is, I'll start with my concern. I've noticed a lot of industrial development over the last several years. And I understand that's part of zoning and city planning. But I guess my question is there any thought or anything being done to ensure there's a healthy balance of industrial development and residential development within the city of Romulus?
I agree with you.
Absolutely. It's a great question. It's a big topic that we talk about a lot here. We want to see a diverse economy grow here in Romulus. But task number one with economic development is create that environment where, the retail and the things that we want are going to succeed. We see in multiple communities right now. I was just in Taylor the other day where I saw a lot of retail that were closed, and vacant buildings over there in the retail and the commercial area too, because everybody shops on the internet anymore. So, but right now, Romulus is at that stage where you're trying to grow the economy and make it more attractive to bring the retail here. The first thing to look at is rooftops and median income. Romulus is still lacking in rooftops. We just approved through council 100 new homes to go in at Gateway, so that'll help towards it. And we're also working with some city-owned property to bring in some more development, bring in additional rooftops. That'll help bring in your Chick-fil-A's or your restaurants or those retail things that we're looking for. So yeah, we're constantly beating the drum. We're working with retail strategies to help advertise for Romulus and talk about it. We had another good meeting today with the hotels because we think the hotel district alone is a good economic engine to bring in additional restaurants, not only with 25,000 rooftops, but 4,000 hotel rooms. So there's a lot of benefits to being here. Right now what we're doing is trying to tell that message. So our economic development team is always working on different things, but the key was to bring in jobs. We did a ribbon cutting today at Captain Nemo's and how well our downtown did when you had 2,000 jobs at Kelsey Hayes, and we were sitting around the corner with another 1,500 jobs. So the key is jobs. And we're trying to bring those back here. That's why my family settled here, because my dad had a good job. But the key is to bring those jobs, additional rooftops, and then we start bringing that market. So we're going to continue to work with them and try to bring them along, but until you show that economic environment where they're going to be sustainable, they're not looking at us yet. So we're still working with them. So yeah, it's definitely on our radar, and it's a high priority. So we brought them some commercial or some industrial work. We want to fill those up with the high-paying jobs. Then you add additional rooftops, and then you have that layer of restaurants or retail or customer-based service that we want to see.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
That was the last written request.
Any comments from the audience? Mr. Miller?
Good evening. My name is Charles Miller. I'm a former city councilman here at this city.
I sat in the same chair Council President Williams sat in. I've watched, I've been involved as you negotiate and go around the charter over and over again like some sort of dance. And let me explain to you. The charter says that if there's a violation of the charter, it's only a $500 fine or 90 days in jail at the discretion of the court. Well, that means that a citizen who wants to file a lawsuit in regards to the charter has to hire an attorney at $365, almost as much as the fine's going to be. I would like to see this raised to at least, let's be realistic, $5,000. A violation of the charter is $5,000. Okay, now here's the thing. Interpretations of everything are other people's opinion other than yours sometimes. That's what it has to when it says my recommendation is, or my opinion is that when something is presented to this council. They are fought over every day, all the way up to the Supreme Court, whether your opinion as an attorney, making no disparaging remarks, or charging the veracity of this city's attorney. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that these situations are fought all the way to the Supreme Court. We've seen that done just recently in Roe v. Wade. These things are done that way. So when you make an opinion and you give it to the city council, if someone doesn't agree with it, where do they go with it? It dies on the floor. It dies on the floor. Well, I'm going to say this. I read this article, this whole thing 3 times again. When you give people power, they will use power. Thank you for your time.
Is there any other comments from the audience? Yes, sir. Who want to come first? Ladies first? Okay.
So it's about city ordinance. Hello, everyone, city council, mayor. I'm a resident over on Niagara and E-Course. We recently had our streets replaced, sections and portions, some people sidewalks. During that tenure when they started, my street was the first phase. When they were digging, we were getting flooding. Wayne County, my house is the very first house right by the ditch. So my land is eroding from that ditch. I have possums, I done put up field dirt, and not possum, but the groundhog. He's about 25, 30 pounds. He won't even run from me.
I saw him.
He's digging holes up under my gate when I fill it with the dirt. I've contacted and went over to the animal shelter. They told me about 2 weeks ago they were getting in new traps, and I would be the first one on the list to get one. Now, the ditch is not maintained by Romulus. It's a Wayne County ditch. I've gotten in touch with Kathy. She's the supervisor over there. She informed me that they only do the drain floor. I have a gate separating my home from the ditch, and over the years, when Robert Ficano was in office, he had maintained the ditch. I have pictures from when I first moved in my home in '97. That ditch was clean. Now it's all types of vines, brush, trees, everything's entangling in my gate, and I've got all types of animals in my backyard, snakes, cats, everywhere. They feed off of that. The apartments over there is a dump bin over there, trash, people walking from the apartments, throwing trash, bottles, everything over in there. I spoke with Al when he came out. He took pictures.
And I sent it to the mayor. The mayor has those pictures, and so does Julie. They have the
Yes,
pictures.
and I contacted and basically went over there, and they told me they were gonna bring a trap out. I gave them my address. I have not received the trap. And at nights, I'm scared to go outside because I don't know what's back there. It's pitch black over in that area because the trees is overpowering everything and the vines is running all up my gate towards my house. And when I try to get them to come out in the spring or the fall, when it's just branches, they won't come out and do their job. That's on Wayne County, but that's another story. But as far as that ditch, I know that they said Romulus had to come out because they didn't have anybody available. And so they took a winch or something and they dug all this sludge up out of there, broken glass bottles, everything is over, just laying out and about.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
So if somebody could help out on that, I would appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, could I through the chair, please? Since I was over there and I investigated it, Mayor McCready, I sent the information to you, Scapitici and Julie. Is there anything that we got to report here? Because that was last week, I think I was out there.
Yeah, the DPW did look at that, and it's not just that area by Niagara, it's E-course all the way down to Inkster Road, where it needs to be taken care of and addressed. We'll put another request in the Wayne County to go out and maintain that ditch, even just cut the, we've had a new trucking company go down there and put new landscaping in, you can't even see it because the cattail's so high. So we continue to work with Wayne County, we'll put another request in there to get them out there, but you're right, it's overgrown, you can't see the houses there, but it's all the way down E-course Road, so we'll continue to work to get this problem solved for them.
And the fact that they were saying that.
Can you go to the mic?
Go to the mic.
Just so it's recorded.
When they were digging, the contractors, the water kept filling up and they couldn't do their job out there, so they had to contact Romulus to come out. I spoke with the guy in city ordinance, and he told me that he had spoke with them and they couldn't come out and do that. So on top of that, I can kind of like, I don't know if it's coming from the ditch or the sewage, but every time it rains, from the apartment to where the houses begin, the street completely floods. So I don't know if the Romulus drains is supposed to cover that. I don't know if that drain is Romulus or Wayne County, but I know the ditch belongs to Wayne County.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. So I'm here to inquire about a deaf child sign removed off my property. From my understanding, my friend moved over on Dexter. I stay at 6304 Dexter Street. They used to have group homes there, and apparently, I guess like 7, 8 years ago, the group homes had moved out, and that sign is just still on my property. I was just trying to figure out who do I go to get that sign removed.
Yeah. You're in the right
Can you
place.
say that address again?
Remove it.
6304 Dexter Street.
Yeah.
I told it was city property, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, we've had those before where we've had a blind child in the area or something like that, but we'll investigate it, make sure that the person or the reason that sign was installed was there, and then we can take action to get it out of there.
Okay, any other comments from the audience? Any more comments from the audience? If there's no more comments from the audience, Madam Clerk, close that part out.
Number 9 is unfinished business. Number 10 is new business.
John?
Mr. Wadsworth?
If I could, to Mayor and Julie, I sent you some emails that were sent to me of Beverly Road, Cordell, Jones. Roberto was going to talk about it tonight, but he's gone. Are we looking into that situation that's up there?
Yeah, we did receive the calls. Roberto's working on a solution for you right now, and he'll give you a report.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
Thank you.
Is there any more new business?
yeah, through the chair?
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
sure if it's new or not, but Mayor McCready and Julie, Gateway, Swan Lake Road. Oh, my God. Absolutely incredible. Hell, man, I think I got a flat tire driving down that street the other day. My goodness. But I talked to Roberto yesterday, and he kind of explained about the concrete and the situation with the concrete and the sand and how it's not holding up well, and they got to wait till they get that issue resolved, because he said something about the concrete that's available now is at a premium price or something he was saying, and also that's a homeowners association and I guess there's some issues over there with the homeowners association not really paying for some of the things they're supposed to be paying for, but the residents are paying taxes there, and they asked me they said, well, if we're paying taxes, what does that go towards? I said, well, it goes towards fire, and it goes towards police, and it goes towards medical services, but I said also, the mayor and the DPW director, you guys have been engaging in these homeowners associations, if you will, in their communities and trying to help out, because it looked like you patched the roads up last year, but I think the paving just popped right out after 1 year.
The roads over there are terrible, and that's a perfect example of the ASR that was in there. And then they found that was where the concrete was deteriorating quickly. Well, and this is the terrible part right now, and we've talked about it before, where we're kind of pulling back some of the work we're doing on some concrete work because we're seeing another industry issue. They've changed the formula of concrete to settle EPA requirements. And now we're seeing, you can see right here at City Hall, we bought some flat work and did some concrete work and it's starting to flake. They say it's not structural, but it's cosmetics. So we're drilling down, and Roberto's been working closely with Osborne Concrete, our resident concrete company. They're both in the field, but we're seeing this everywhere. As soon as we saw it, I called other mayors, and they're seeing it in other communities. So there's another industry issue with the concrete they're trying to sort out. So we kind of pulled back on any concrete work we're doing right now because I'd hate to finally be able to do some concrete repairs and then have it falling apart in 2 or 3 years again. So we're waiting to see. And then Roberto did some creative mixing and some working with the contractors on the work we did on the Huron River State sub this year, and we're waiting to see how that holds up to see where we're at. But right now we just pump the brakes on the concrete because we do not want to finally do repairs to give these residents some relief and then have a bad product that's going to fall apart again in a couple of years. So very frustrating for us.
Okay.
And like I said, they changed the ingredients or the formula for the concrete mix to suit EPA requirements, and it's caused some issues.
So we don't have an estimate, obviously. We can't get an estimate.
No, but that's high on our priority list. That's a failed road, so I can't give you anything right now. We were trying to do something next year, but because of this industry issue, we don't want to take the city's funds for roads and put it in there and then buy some faulty material. So
okay,
just trying to be smart with that. But we know
go back to the residents. That's not a problem.
Yep,
Finally,
those roads are in terrible shape.
Yeah, I hear you. I experienced it personally. The home on Sandalwood, I think there was a homeowner there who had the tree was coming through the cement and up into her front yard, and it's the only, the preserves where my man lives at, where Devin lives at, preserves at Romulus. It was the young lady I sent you the address, I sent you the picture, and the tree root is cracking the ground, and it's coming up into her lawn, and she's the only house in that area that has that type of issue, and her explanation was obviously that the tree, I guess, was planted, it wasn't planted deep enough or something, because there's a lot of trees out there, but she's the only one that has that problem. She was really kind of irate, and I was hot and sweating and drinking Gatorade, and she was just fussing. So I say, hey, let me get old and McCray, he'll take care of it.
We'll see what we can do.
Oh, yeah. I sent you the information, so I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, team's looking into it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Roberto told me you were, so thank you.
Okay, if there's no further new business, it takes us to number 11, warrant.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion, we pay warrant 24-12 in the following amounts. General Fund, $142,639.17. Major Street Fund, $84,733.77. Local Street Fund, $648,938.94. Public Safety Fund, $46,297. Cable TV, $377.50. Marion Road Special Assessment, $8,778.35. Street Lighting Fund, $55,358.68. Community Employee Activity Fund, $1,150. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $2,895.58. Oakwood SAD, $143.06. Tax Increment Finance Authority, $40,502.78. Downtown Development Authority, $2,979.62. Michigan Indigent Defense Fund, $7,750. 911 Service Fund, $10,211.70. Drug Law Enforcement Fund, $432.77. Library Fund, $92,906.69. Vining Road Extension, E-Course Construction, $37,528.13. Water and Sewer Fund, $245,166.72. Motor Vehicle, $17,241.95. Technology Services, $34,026.95. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $16,375.24. Property and Liability Insurance Fund, $8,297. Revolving Fund, $4,287.50. General Tax Fund, $56,353.41. Impress Payroll Fund, $16,643.75. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $10,715.73. Totaling all funds, $1,592,731.99.
Second that motion.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 24-12 for $1,592,731.99. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, council. Number 12 is communication.
Through the chair.
Ms. Talley?
I'm going to make this quick because we've been here long enough. And so first of all, a quick shout out, piggyback off the mayor and our clerk regarding the Juneteenth. It was a great event. And even in the heat, it was a nice turnout. So thank for everybody who came out and supported that event. It was a great event for the second year. We also had a Flag Day program on Friday, June 14th, so thank the city for putting that on. I wish I could remember the name of the recipient who got the flag that day. Nice elderly gentleman. I don't remember his name, but it was just great to have them present that flag to him. I just wish I could recall his name. So, but thank you for that Flag Day event. And then that evening, there was music in the park, which was really great. Nice turnout of people out in the park, and then the after party after the music in the art district. So, thanks for all the great events going on. Oh, lastly, our Relay for Life is gearing up. The teams are building, so if you know anybody want to participate, get a team together, please reach out to Shona Sylvie Baum regarding Relay for Life that will be coming up in the next several months. They still need teams. Thank you.
Thank you.
As always, the Forgotten Harvest tomorrow from 10 to 12, all is welcome. Thank you.
To the chair, just looking for input from city council. The report the chief of staff put together, the 6-page report, was put in everybody's box about issues that were at the last meeting and they came up through some action items. So I wanted to make sure council all got those updates. Just trying to have clear, transparent communication. So I want to make sure council got those. And also, if there's anything then that had questions on or other issues, reach out to council and we'll get better process. But we're just trying to answer those questions and issues you guys have. So,
thank you.
Through the chair, quickly, I know everybody's ready to get out of here, but, okay, I'm sorry. Through the chair?
Yes, Mr.
Thank you,
Wilson.
sir. Mayor McCray, I sent you an email earlier today and to Julie and to a few other folks looking for some information. I don't need to go into depth about what it was about, but you know what email I sent you, and I'm looking for some information. And I look for us to make a better determination on funding for our city. So when you get a chance, it'd be great to have that.
The chief of staff, on the last page of that report, I believe the chief of staff gave you a response on that, right?
Oh, did you? You left me something?
That all comes receipts before your 6:30.
Oh, did I sit on it?
It's left right in front of your microphones, actually, and make sure this goes in your seat.
That's it.
Okay. This says from, okay, to honorable, okay, is this it? This, okay, I didn't see it, I'm sorry.
It should be, if it doesn't address the issue, just let us know.
Okay, thank you. I'll take a look at it. Oh, yeah, I think I see something here. Okay.
Is there any more communication from council?
Thank you. Thank you.
If not, number 13 is adjournment.
So moved.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Williams for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.